I broke a branch from a tree to make myself a sort of cane for me to walk with. My legs ached every time I tried to walk without clinging to something for support. Despite my current situation, I'm just grateful that the upper half of my body is fully functional and that whatever accident that I tried to arrive before hasn't completely left me paralyzed. I've been walking for some time now. I wasn't sure where I was walking to or where I was currently for that matter, but I had to go somewhere. I couldn't just lie in the meadow forever. I decided to go find someone who could help me. Wanted an explanation as to why there were so many bodies lying in the meadows that I just left. They weren't really dead, I was sure. They were just unconscious or sleeping and would wake up eventually. I thought of just waiting for them to wake up, but then when I got hungry, I decided to go find some food, which is why I'm now lost in the woods. I thought I'd find some sort of tavern nearby, like I saw in the pictures and the camera I found, but I never came across any establishment of that kind and has made do with eating the fruits I picked up from the trees in the woods here. I drank the water from the river I came across, which, at least to me, looked and tasted as good as clean water can be. I've been buying bottled water for so long I've almost forgotten the resource that the companies that package it got it from. I took another look at the gallery of the camera that I found, the Meadows. There were not many photos in them. The camera appeared brand new. The person who lost it must have recently purchased it. There were no pictures of people in the camera, only places. I assumed the pictures were all in close proximity to where I had found the camera, since most of it looked as if they were shot nearby. The pictures of the meadows, the river, the woods were all places I had seen, but I didn't find the tavern. I just thought that maybe I had to walk a little further to find it, but now I wasn't so sure. I considered going back to the meadows, to where the many lying bodies were. Maybe they've already woken up. Perhaps some of them actually know what's really happened, and I should have just waited a while. Have I made a mistake by going to find this tavern? I was hungry then, which is why I left the meadows, since there was no food there. I've already eaten now, but there's still a long day ahead of me. I've got to make a choice now, whether I want to pursue this tavern or go back to the meadows. I feel like it'd be a waste to go back all the way there if I was going to leave this place and get back home. I'm going to have to go through this place anyway. The other way was only the mountains, and there was no way I'm going to hike through some mountains. I'm scared of heights. I've had vertigo ever since I was a kid. I'll just follow the river. I've never tried it before, but I always heard that if you get lost, then just follow that. But I wasn't sure whether to go upstream or downstream. Let me think for a bit. If I were to follow the river downstream, then I would eventually find the ocean. I knew that much. But if I were to go the other way, did that mean I would get to some dangerous place? I don't know the geography of this place, so I can't really say. I've never been much of a camper. I've always been the quiet night in type of person myself. Anyway, if there's a picture of the tavern in the camera I found, then the place had to exist. All that I've had was just fruits. It wouldn't hurt to get an actual meal, or if it got dark, a place to stay for the night. I don't have money with me right now, but I'll think of something out when I get there. I got up from the log I was sitting at while I was looking at the pictures in the camera, then realized that my legs were fine now. I could walk normally now without the aid of the cane I made. But I didn't throw it away though. Maybe the cane could be useful later on in my journey. I did jumping jacks, then skipped stones to the river to celebrate the recuperated condition of my legs. At the time, I didn't question how my legs got better so quickly, even though they were writhing in agony a while before that. But as I got frustrated following the river downstream for so long, I started asking what exactly made my legs heal. Did the rejuvenated water from the river had something to do with it? Did it have any relation to the berries? I kept pondering between these two questions until I caught a glimpse of a monk meditating in the river bank not far from where I was. My steps came to a halt. I stood frozen where I was. This could be the help that I needed. How was I going to approach him? I don't want to disturb him, but I really need some help right now. What was I going to say to him? What could I ask him? Hello there. I'm lost. Can you tell me where we are right now? Could I start with that? The meditating monk was sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed. How long do these people meditate and stuff? What do they do when they're not meditating? I was beginning to wonder about the monk now. I suddenly became interested in becoming one. I mean, I'm lost with no money and no documents to prove my identity. What if I were to become a monk and live the rest of my days in a monastery somewhere here? I remember that Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics, was a monk. He studied peace in his spare time while juggling his duties in his abbot. But how do I get accepted to become a monk? I'm not religious in any religion, so that might be a difficult hurdle in getting into a monastery. Wait a minute. Why am I even considering this? I'm not going to last being a monk. I don't think I could be celibate for the rest of my life. I'm not the only person who's in this mess. There were a lot of people who's gotten lost like me. My train of thought got disturbed when I heard music playing. The direction was coming from surprised me. The music, since it was rather close to the monk. The song was Persona Algebra. I knew the bass intro to that song well. It wasn't easy to play, but I learned it anyway. The song reminded me of someone who I loved. We were on a bus. She was heading home. Well, I didn't know where I was going, but I didn't want to go home. Suddenly she passes me in a block and said something like, "Do you know the times?" I thought she wanted to know the time of day, so I told her that, but she just laughed and said that was the name of the band. Then the song starts playing on my left ear. I didn't really want the bus to stop anytime soon. I wanted, and still want to, live in that moment forever. As the song ended, we listened to a few other songs by other Malay indie bands like Layla's Lounge and then Grey Sky Morning. We exchanged numbers after the bus ride. One thing led to another, then we became lovers. She got over me and moved to another city to study, while I'm now lost in the middle of some woods here, getting high to this song. I'm pretty sure that particular bus still drives on the streets with different lovers in it, heading home or nowhere. It's funny to me because in the beginning of Norwegian Wood, the protagonist is reminded of his former lovers when he listens to a song, while I'm reminded of some lover former I had when I listened to Persona Algebra in the beginning of my story, which I will continue in a later time.